Hi everybody, today we are going to see how to build a resume. Before getting into the topic, I would like to tell you guys the difference between a resume and a CV. A CV is something that is long, which has in-depth detail about every single thing that you've done, and it is more for academic and research oriented purposes. It has a cover letter that comes with it, which gives the employer what they need to know about you in short and crisp detail. Whereas a resume is something that is more adaptable. You can tailor make it for the job that you're applying. You just give the necessary information that the employer needs if they have to select you for the particular job. This is something that is short, crisp, very less detail oriented, and that's what an employer keeps looking for. Now, getting into how to write a resume, there are a few points that you have to think of. So, the first thing comes your name. When you write your name, make sure it is bold. Make sure it is big and bold. Because if an employer is going to look at your resume, he has to notice your name and remember your name. So, he shouldn't be there looking for or searching for your name, where it is. So, that is the first thing that is there. You can go, for example, Times New Roman up to 24, 23, 24. That is not a bad thing. It does look normal on a resume. Then the second thing comes your designation. In your designation, write the name that was given to you, the title that was given to you, or the work that you did. And if you're a fresher, it is okay, it is not necessary, because everybody has to start somewhere. The third comes your statement. No more writing objectives. The company does not need to know how good they are, how well you think about them. Instead, they want to know about you. So write a statement saying the skills that you have, the amount of knowledge that you possess, the years of experience that you have, and things like that. For example, senior trainer with 10 years of experience training IELTS students. It just has to be 1 or 2 lines, not much. So these are the few details that you give in the beginning about yourself, and next comes your contact details. A lot of us sit and write pages and pages of all this. Cut that everything down. Write your phone number, write your email ID, and if you have a LinkedIn or a YouTube profile, something like that, attach the hyperlinks in the resume. And you don't have to give your address in detail, because it's no longer that somebody is going to sit and post something to your address. Instead, they'll just have to see which location you're in. You obviously have the formalities to give your address to them later on. So that's about it. And write this either on the right hand corner or just below the details that you give about yourself, like the name, designation, and the statement. Then comes your work experience. This is the most important point. So, in the work experience, you're going to tell the work that you did till now and what kind of job you're doing, and the summary of the skills that you had, the responsibilities, and a few achievements that you had. Be more specific when you're telling about achievements. Don't be just overall tell, I did this. No. Which you led a team which gave good results or gave this target amount that you wanted. Something like that. Be more specific in what you're mentioning. And most importantly, mention keywords. Keywords is not something big for you not to understand. Instead, they are just the words that the job seeker would need in a resume, so that the employer notices that. Because when they give you a job position, when they post a job, there are a few key words that they have mentioned below. Those are the words that they look in for when you write your work experience. So this is nothing big. Just go through a few more job profiles, or go through LinkedIn profiles, or do a few more job postings that are there. Choose all the words, and from that take the 6 or 7 keywords that you're very strong at and what you have done, and mention that in your work experience. That is very important. The next comes your educational qualification. In your resume, you do not have the space to write everything, every single detail of your education. Go with the latest thing that you've completed, the course name, the name of the institution, the place, from which year to which year that you did. Mostly enough. And mention every educational qualification that is very relevant to the posting that you're applying for. In case if it is taking too much or taking a lot of page, cut that short and write the most recent ones. Next comes your certifications. Certifications, again, anybody can do a lot of certifications, whether relevant or not relevant to the job. But if you have something that is very relevant to the job, write that first. Give priority to that first. And if that has an expiry date or something, please do mention that. Do not forget it. The next comes the soft skills part. Most of us forget to mention the soft skills or the skills that we possess. The employer has to see that. We do forget to do that. So take up an online assessment, self-assessment, because it gives you a very detailed report or a graph on the skills that you possess. So it shows the employer that you have something better to show them. Maybe your strength, your weakness. For example, you're good at leading a team, something like that. Some of them do give self-assessments. They give marks for themselves. But when you have something from online, if taken up an exam, you're giving a report, that gives you an upper edge there. The next come languages. Languages, again, most of us know at least 2 languages now because we have English. So most of us know 2 languages. When that is the case, please do mention the level of language that you know. Like for example, if you take Tamil, there are a few who can read and write and speak in Tamil. But there are a few who can just speak in Tamil and not read and write. So mention what you can actually do and which level that you feel is good at or you're good at. Something like that. If you want to prove them, you can even take up online exams because every single language has their own online exams. You can take them and attach them with your resume. And after that comes your technical skills. If you have done technical courses, obviously if you're applying for a computer job, this is necessary. But out of your interest, if you have done other typing classes or typing certifications or something that you've got, attach it here in your technical skills because you just have to show off the skills that you have. So you can do that, and do not give obvious information. For example, everybody knows how to use Windows 7 or 8. So you don't have to mention that. Even a kid would do that. But instead, show the skills that you actually have, you want the employer to notice and see. Okay. And then there are a few do's and don'ts that you have to follow. I can see that everywhere you have the do's, and I've mentioned a lot of do's before. So I'm just mentioning a don'ts here and a few other points for you to keep in mind when you write a resume. The first do not is do not give additional information about yourself. For example, your age, your gender, your date of birth, sort of your biodata. Nobody needs that biodata anymore. Instead, they should ask these questions in your interview if they have to. But otherwise, you do not need to provide such details to them. Next comes, do not, do not exceed more than a page. Make sure whatever you write in your resume comes to 1 page. And if it goes more than a page, make sure the information is useful, because I heard that the employers just spend 20 to 30 seconds with a resume. So imagine the time that you have to give them, the extra minutes extra seconds that you're giving them means that the information should be useful. And the third thing, do not give objective about the company. Instead, give a statement. Think yourself as an advertising agent. You're advertising yourself. You are the product. So think how well you have to advertise, and that's what you're going to put up in your resume. One tip that you have to find out. Okay, there are a few more points that I said I would add. The first thing is that you do not have to see that your materials or your qualifications are in a chronological order, because I told you to give the relevant ones first and then give the others later if there is space. So it doesn't have to be in a chronological order. Next, repeat the keywords. Like I said before, check out the keywords and repeat it a few times so that when they give a skim or a scan through your resume, they catch up with those keywords. And do not confuse your keywords. Check if those keywords are actually correct and match for your job. Next, keep it short and simple. Keep it short and simple doesn't just mean the content that you have, but the extra images that you're going to give. Do not give an attractive, colorful outline or background. No, not necessary. Keep it simple, keep it neat. The design and the layout give importance to that too. The information that is there should be visible enough to read. They shouldn't get distracted by the colorful outlines that you have given. Instead, your information is more important. So keep it simple, short, sweet, clear. And the next, avoid spelling mistakes. Make hashtag marks as many times as you want for this one. Avoid spelling mistakes. Proofread it. It is true, everybody makes spelling mistakes, but proofread it twice, thrice, how many ever times you want. Give it to another person and proofread it again, because they would see it from a different point of view and they might find something else again. So proofread it once, twice, give it to another person and do this. And the last, a small trend that I would like to advise you on. This trend is nothing but the hyperlinks that I mentioned. A lot of us have Insta accounts, Snapchats and TikToks and blah blah blah. There is so much more that we have. But if there is something that is really useful, you want to showcase your talent, you've actually showcased your talent, and you want to show that to your employer, please take those hyperlinks and attach it in your resume. Because you're going to give them a direct link, direct proof of what you've been doing, what your skills are, and how well you've been molding your skills. The next one comes a video clipping. If you're applying for a job abroad, it is compulsory that you give a video clipping of yourself. It's mostly like you give a self-introduction, a small, brief self-introduction, the kind of job that you do, the skills that you have, how much you have achieved, what are your interests, and kinds like that. So very short self-intro, about 2 minutes about yourself, the job that you do. Not about what you've studied and all that. Maybe that'll just come in a line or so. That's all. So these are a few add-ons, and it would be nice if you could bring this into your resume, because it makes your resume a bit highlighted. So with this, I hope I've given you enough information to make your resume ready. All the best for preparing a good one.